The clock struck midnight. The headquarters of the Alpha Gang team was buzzing with excitement. Ursula, the fierce leader of the team, had decided to organize a gaming night to boost team morale. Xander, Seth, Ed, and Dr. Z were all gathered around a large monitor, ready to play the Joy of Creation demo. Seth, the tech-savvy member of the group, was in charge of setting up the game. All right, everyone, let's get ready to dive into this creepy world, he said enthusiastically. Dr. Z, the eccentric scientist of the group, was already getting antsy. Hurry up, Seth, I want to start playing already. I can't wait to see what kind of dinosaurs we'll encounter in this game. Xander, the muscle of the team, rolled his eyes. Just be patient, drive. Z. We need to make sure everything is set up properly before we start playing. Ed, the youngest member of the team, was fidgeting nervously in his seat. I've heard this game is super scary. I'm not sure I can handle it, he admitted. Ursula, always the voice of reason, reassured Ed. Don't worry, Ed. We're all in this together. We'll have each other's backs. As Seth finally got the game started, the group dove into the world of the Joy of Creation. The graphics were stunning, and the tension was palpable as they navigated through the dark corridors, on the lookout for any signs of danger. Suddenly, a jump scare appeared on the screen, causing Ed to scream in terror. I knew this game was going to be scary. I can't take this, he exclaimed, covering his eyes. Xander chuckled, patting Ed on the back. Relax, Ed. It's just a game. We're all here to support each other. Dr. Z, however, was too absorbed in the game to pay attention to Ed's distress. Look at that dinosaur. It's so lifelike. I wonder if we can harness its power for our own dinosaurs. Ursula shook her head, trying to keep the team focused. Let's stay on task, everyone. We need to work together to conquer this game. No distractions. As they continued playing, the tension in the room grew thicker. Every corner they turned, every door they opened, held the potential for danger. Seth was on edge, constantly checking behind them to make sure they weren't being followed. Suddenly, a loud crash sounded from the other side of the room, causing everyone to jump in their seats. Xander quickly jumped up, fists raised, ready to defend the group. But it was just Ed, who had accidentally knocked over a stack of papers in his frenzy. Oops, sorry guys. I got a little too into the game there, he sheepishly admitted. Ursula sighed, shaking her head. Ed, you need to focus. We're all in this together, and we need to work as a team if we want to succeed. Despite the mishaps and distractions, the Alpha Gang team continued to push forward in the game. Each member brought their unique skills and strengths to the table, working together to overcome obstacles and solve puzzles. As they neared the final level of the game, the tension was at its peak. The atmosphere was tense, the stakes were high, and every decision they made could mean the difference between success and failure. Finally, with a final push from Ursula, the team completed the game, victorious. Cheers erupted throughout the headquarters as they high-fived and congratulated each other on a job well done. As they settled back into their seats, exhausted but elated, Ursula turned to her team with a grin. Great job, everyone. This gaming night was a success because we worked together and supported each other. Let's continue to harness that teamwork in all our future endeavors. And with that, the Alpha Gang team knew that no matter what challenges they faced, as long as they stood together, they could conquer anything that came their way. Words, 717. Words, 700. Words, 7. Words, 717. The headquarters of the Alpha Gang team was bustling with activity as Ursula, Xander, Seth, Ed, and Dr. Z gathered for their weekly gaming night. The team had decided to play the Joy of Creation demo, a horror game that promised to keep them on the edge of their seats. Seth, the self-appointed leader of the group, was busy setting up the game on the large screen in the center of the room. All right, everyone, pay attention, he barked, trying to keep the rowdy members of the team in line. We need to focus if we want to survive this game. Xander, the tech genius of the group, was already getting antsy. Come on, Seth, hurry up with the setup. I want to get started already, he whined, tapping his foot impatiently. Dr. Z, the eccentric scientist of the team, was rummaging through a pile of snacks on the table. Does anyone have any more popcorn? I seem to have run out, he mumbled, stuffing his face with a handful of chips. Ed, the dim-witted muscle of the group, was fiddling with his controller, completely oblivious to the chaos around him. Uh-oh, I think I broke something, he muttered, as the game screen suddenly glitched and froze. Ursula, the only female member of the team, rolled her eyes at the bumbling antics of her teammates. Can we please focus on the game, guys? We need to beat this level before the night is over, she pointed out, trying to steer the group back on track. As Seth finally managed to fix the technical issues and the game resumed, the tension in the room spiked. The eerie music and creepy atmosphere of the Joy of Creation had everyone on edge, including the usually fearless members of the Alpha Gang team. Suddenly, a loud crash echoed through the room, causing everyone to jump in their seats. Ed had accidentally knocked over a lamp, casting shadows that flickered ominously on the walls. Oops, my bad, he chuckled nervously, trying to clean up the mess. Xander let out a nervous laugh. Great, now we have real-life jump scares to deal with, he joked, trying to lighten the mood as the game continued to get more intense. Dr. Z, who was now munching on a cookie, suddenly gasped in horror. Look out, guys, there's something moving in the shadows. He exclaimed, pointing at a dark corner of the room. Ursula rolled her eyes at the scientist's theatrics. It's just your imagination, drive. Z. We need to focus on the game and figure out how to survive this level, she reminded him, trying to keep the team on track. As the Alpha Gang team navigated through the terrifying challenges of the joy of creation, their teamwork and quick thinking were put to the test. Seth led the group with his strategic thinking, Xander used his tech skills to hack into the game, Ed provided the muscle when needed, and Ursula kept everyone grounded with her calm demeanor. Despite the scares and challenges they faced, the Alpha Gang team managed to complete the demo and emerge victorious. As the end credits rolled on the screen, the room erupted in cheers and high fives. Well done, team. We may have had a few hiccups along the way, but we pulled through in the end, Seth praised his teammates, a proud smile on his face. Ursula nodded in agreement. We make a great team, even when things get a little chaotic. I'm proud to be a part of the Alpha Gang, she admitted, feeling grateful for the bond they shared. As the team packed up their gaming gear and prepared to head home, Seth looked around at his teammates with a sense of pride. We may be a bunch of misfits, but when we come together, there's nothing we can't overcome. Here's to many more gaming nights and adventures ahead, he declared, raising his fist in solidarity. And with that, the Alpha Gang team bid farewell to another thrilling gaming night, ready to face whatever challenges awaited them in the future. The bond they shared and the adventures they embarked on would forever be etched in their memories, united by their love of gaming and the thrill of the unknown. The Alpha Gang team was gathered in their headquarters for their weekly gaming night. Ursula, Xander, Seth, Ed, and Dr. Z were all huddled around the computer screen, eagerly waiting to start playing the Joy of Creation demo. Seth, the self-proclaimed gaming expert of the group, was in charge of navigating the game. All right guys, let's focus and try to actually win this time, he said, trying to keep everyone on track. But as soon as they entered the game, chaos ensued. Xander immediately started clicking randomly on the keyboard, causing their character to run in circles. Ursula kept getting stuck in doorways, unable to move forward. Ed was too busy trying to take selfies with the game's characters to pay attention to his gameplay. And Dr. Z was causing mayhem by constantly messing with the game settings. Guys, come on, we need to work together if we want to beat this game, Seth exclaimed, trying to corral the unruly group. But no matter how hard he tried, the Alpha Gang team just couldn't seem to get it together. One by one, they kept screwing up simple tasks, causing their in-game characters to meet untimely ends. As they navigated the dark in-game nighttime, a sense of unease began to creep over the group. The eerie atmosphere of the joy of creation was starting to get to them, and they could feel their heart rates increasing with each passing minute. Suddenly, as they were trying to solve a particularly tricky puzzle, one of the gang members accidentally triggered a jump scare, causing everyone to scream in terror. The lights in the headquarters flickered, adding to the tension in the room. Okay, this is getting way too intense for me, Ursula said, shakily reaching for the keyboard. I think I need a break. But before she could exit the game, a loud crash echoed through the headquarters, making everyone jump. The room fell silent as they looked around nervously, trying to figure out what was happening. And then, they heard it. A low, guttural growl coming from the darkness. The gang members exchanged worried glances as they realized that something was very wrong. Guys, I think we may have unleashed something we shouldn't have, drive. Z said, his voice trembling. As they tried to make sense of their situation, the in-game characters suddenly came to life, their eyes glowing with malice. The Alpha Gang team realized that they were now trapped in the joy of creation, and they had to find a way to escape before it was too late. With adrenaline pumping through their veins, the gang members banded together, determined to overcome their fear and beat the game. They worked as a team, using their individual strengths to outsmart the terrifying creatures that lurked in the shadows. After what felt like an eternity of heart-pounding suspense, they finally reached the end of the game. The screen went black, and a message appeared. Congratulations, you have survived the joy of creation. The Alpha Gang team let out a collective sigh of relief, laughing and high-fiving each other in triumph. Despite the terrifying experience, they had managed to come out on top, stronger and closer than ever before. As they exited the game and returned to the real world, they knew that they would never forget the thrill of that night. And though they may have started out as a bunch of bumbling goofballs, they had proven that when they worked together, they could overcome any challenge that came their way. And so, the Alpha Gang team continued to game on, their bond stronger than ever as they faced new adventures together. And who knows what thrilling challenges awaited them in the future. Words, 626. It was a dark and stormy night inside the headquarters of the Alpha Gang team. Ursula, Xander, Seth, Ed, and Dr. Z were gathered around a computer screen, ready to play the latest game that had been causing a buzz in the gaming world, the Joy of Creation demo. Seth, the team's designated gaming expert, was in charge of navigating the game while the rest of the team watched in anticipation. The game was set in a dark and eerie mansion, with the objective being to survive the night while being chased by creepy animatronic creatures. As the game started, Seth began to guide the team through the dark hallways of the mansion, trying to avoid the lurking animatronics. But it wasn't long before things started to go awry. Xander, always the goofball of the group, couldn't resist making jokes and cracking wise as they played. Watch out for that creepy clown behind you, Ursula. He shouted, causing Ursula to jump in her seat. Xander, will you please focus? We're trying to win this game, Seth chastised, trying to keep the team on track. Meanwhile, Ed was fumbling with his controller, pressing all the wrong buttons and causing their character to stumble and fall repeatedly. Oops, my bad guys. Sorry, he mumbled sheepishly. Dr. Z, the eccentric leader of the Alpha Gang team, was getting increasingly frustrated with the chaos unfolding in front of him. This is not a game of charades, team. We need to work together and focus if we want to succeed, he scolded. But despite Seth's best efforts to keep the team in line, they continued to bumble and screw up at every turn. It seemed like they were never going to make it through the night. Just as they were about to face another animatronic attack, Ursula let out a blood-curdling scream. Oh no, it's coming for us. She cried, as the team frantically tried to fend off the creature. But just when things seemed their darkest, Seth managed to rally the team together. Listen up, team. We may be goofing around, but we're also a team. We need to trust each other and work together if we want to survive this night, he declared. With newfound determination, the Alpha Gang team fought off the animatronics and successfully made it through the night. They had won the game, against all odds. As they cheered and congratulated each other on their victory, drive. Z looked at his team with pride. Well done, team. Despite all the chaos and goofing around, we managed to come together and succeed. I couldn't be prouder of each and every one of you, he said, a rare smile crossing his face. And as the storm raged outside, the Alpha Gang team basked in the glow of their victory, knowing that no matter what challenges came their way, they would always have each other to rely on. Words. 400. Inside the headquarters of Alpha Gang team, Ursula, Xander, Seth, Ed, and Dr. Z were gathered around a large screen, preparing to play the popular horror game, The Joy of Creation demo. Seth, the self-appointed leader of the group, was trying to keep everyone in line as they settled in for their gaming night. All right everyone, let's focus up and try to actually win this time, he said sternly. But as soon as the game started, chaos erupted. Xander was fumbling with the controls, Ursula was screaming every time something jumped out at her, and Ed was wandering around aimlessly in-game, getting the team into trouble. Guys, come on, we need to work together if we want to beat this game, Seth said, trying to rein in the chaos. But the team continued to struggle, with one member after another screwing up and making things more difficult for the rest of the group. It seemed like they were never going to make it through the dark, eerie nighttime in the game. As the tension mounted, Seth could feel the frustration building. We can do this, guys. Just stay focused and follow my lead, he urged. Despite the odds stacked against them, the Alpha Gang team refused to give up. They pushed through the challenges, with Seth's guidance steering them towards victory. As they neared the end of the game, the tension was palpable. Every member of the team was on edge, their eyes glued to the screen as they carefully navigated the final obstacles. And then, finally, they did it. The Alpha Gang team emerged victorious, with Seth leading the charge. The team erupted into cheers and high-fives, their adrenaline still pumping from the intense experience. It was a thrilling victory, and one that brought the team closer together. As they basked in their triumph, Seth couldn't help but feel a sense of pride. Despite the chaos and setbacks, they had come together as a team and conquered the challenge before them. And as they prepared to take on their next gaming adventure, Seth knew that no matter what obstacles they faced, the Alpha Gang team would always have each other's backs. They were a force to be reckoned with, and their bond was unbreakable. Words. 380.